Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back, and today I'm going to be attempting to build a coffee table out of only 2x4s. Now these are 22 2x4s I got from Menards for just under 50 bucks. I believe that this is Southern Yellow Pine. Not really 100% sure. I know it's a softwood, but the very first step I have to do in order to start making the table is send it through the planer right here. So here we go. So I just got done planing the tops and bottoms of these 2x4s, and you can see the corners look pretty square, but I still gotta plane the sides. It's so crazy how time consuming it is to plane all those 2x4s. One pass with all those, the 22 2x4s fill up the entire shop vac, and I did 2 passes on the top and then 1 pass on the bottom because, you know, no one's gonna see the bottom, and plus 1 pass is fine. But now I'm gonna go ahead and do like 1 or 2 passes on the sides, and then we can move on from there.
We're gonna have to go very slow.
Alright guys, so I just got done planing all these 2x4s on all 4 sides. That took quite a long time, but I think they all turned out pretty good. You can see how straight and sharp the corners are. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just lay it out, mark it, and then I'm gonna cut it. I need to cut 14 of these 18-inch blocks because the total height is gonna be 18 inches, so we need 14 of them. I already have 1. So I'm going to be needing 16 of these 14 3/4, I believe. All right, so now that I have the 16 cut that are 14 3/4, and I have the 14 cut that are 18 inches, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the 8 46-inch ones and 7 40-inch ones. Alright guys, so I just brought up all these 2x4s, just the tabletop ones. Brought it upstairs, laid it out to see how it would look in there. It looks pretty good, except for I think we could add 2 more boards, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut one more at 46, or one more at 46 inches and 1 more at 39.5. And then I'm gonna cut 2 more at 18 inches and 2 more at 14 3/4. And then we should be good. All right guys, so I just got the top laid out here in the garage, and I was just laying it out to see how many boards I need for the bottom shelf. So it looks like I'm gonna use 6 boards for the very bottom shelf, and each board will be the same length as this inner one. That means I can get 2 out of each board. So that means I'm only gonna go through 3. We're gonna have, I think, about 4 boards left over after all this is done. Maybe 3 boards left over. But I'm gonna go ahead and get all of the bottom shelves cut, and we'll move on from there. All right guys, so I got all the bottom shelf boards cut, so now I'm gonna go ahead and glue them all together. All right guys, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and start assembling the table. Alright guys, so I just got done gluing and screwing these inner boards. The last thing I have to do is glue on these outer boards. I don't want any visible screws, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue inside that seam and glue inside of here, and then I'm just gonna clamp it together, and I'm gonna use these legs just to kind of support it for now. And then after this glue is dried, then I will glue on the legs, and it should be pretty good. After that, then I'm gonna put on that bottom shelf right there. I'm gonna support it in there somehow. I'll make it work somehow. And then after that, I'm gonna sand it all, and then we're gonna stain it. So here we go. All right, so I just got done gluing up and clamping the outsides, and I went ahead and I put on these 2x4s out here just so the Irwin clamps don't leave a little indent in the wood. I'm not really too worried about these DeWalt ones. They got pretty big surface area, and plus, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. But I clamped those on. I'm gonna let that glue dry. I'm gonna go ahead and put on those legs over here. In the morning, once the glue is dry, I can take off these clamps, and I'll use these clamps for the legs. I have some cheap Tecton clamps up there. I don't even think those are big enough anyways, but they don't clamp worth of crap at all. Like, they suck. These DeWalt ones and these Irwin ones are my absolute favorite. The DeWalt ones clamp with more force than you'll probably ever need, to be honest, but and they're so convenient. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let all this dry, and I will see you guys in the morning. Alright guys, so I just took off the clamps for these legs down here. Now what I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to turn it on its side, and I'm gonna put on the bottom shelf. So this is a pretty tight fit right here with this. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna sand everything and I'm gonna slowly trim on this until it fits absolutely perfect. All right guys, so I just got the bottom shelf on and I'm really liking how this is turning out. I was gonna go ahead and stain it, but I'm afraid that the stain, and there's a little bit of glue residue here, I think that that's gonna affect the stain. But I'm gonna go ahead and put on one coat, see how it looks. If it looks bad, then I'm just gonna keep sanding it until all the glue's away. I think I went overkill with the glue, so that's something to keep in mind for the next time if I ever build this again. I wanted to stain this with a little bit of a darker stain, so I'm gonna be using dark walnut. I hope that this turns out really good, and I think it should look really good on that. All right guys, so it is the next morning, and as you can see, I brought the coffee table upstairs into the living room, and it is looking pretty sweet up here. I was a little worried it wasn't gonna look as good with the stain since there was a little bit of wood glue still left. As you can see, the yellow blotchiness within the stain, that's all just a little bit of glue. Residue is on the top, but I think it gave it a lot more, I'd say, character, I guess. I think it looks pretty sweet. I'm gonna probably build another one of these and try to minimize the amount of glue and just kind of compare them and see which one looks better. But what looks really cool here, you can see there's like little scratches and stuff. Makes it look a little distressed. And I think that's what we were kind of going for when I was building this, is I kind of wanted to make it look like a little rustic, a little distressed. And as you see, it's pretty flat overall. I mean, there's not really any, this is the only spot on the corner that's kind of notched out. I tried to hand plane all this, and then I got a little, I guess, I don't know what you call it, chip out? I'm not really sure. I went across it with the hand plane, and then I knocked off a big chunk of the wood. But as you see, it's fairly flat, and it doesn't rock at all. It is very heavy. It was really hard to get it up the steps. So the overall dimensions of the table, it's exactly 23 inches wide. It is 46 inches long, and it should be 18 inches tall. Yeah. And then the bottom shelf is off the ground by, I didn't really measure this out. Let's see. About 4 and, I don't know, with it, 4 3/4 almost off the ground. Yeah, you can see all the little scratches and stuff. I sanded this to 120 grit. I didn't really feel the need to go any higher. I guess 220 would have probably been the highest you'd go, but I think it looks sweet. So I think I did a pretty good job for my first time ever doing something like this. I've never built a coffee table out of 2x4s that were like vertical. There's definitely things I would do to change it to make it go by faster. There's a lot of things I learned, just little things, but the main thing that I learned was working in a small space with a big thing like this is, I mean, it's hard. I had to constantly be moving this around, and that was just a pain. So next time I build something like this, I'm not gonna do it in such tight quarters, and I'm gonna give myself some room so I can move around the work instead of the work moving around with me. Also, I'd probably make some sort of jig where it would keep everything nice and flat, so I know for sure that it's not gonna be kind of rocky. The most difficult part probably was to keep all of these bottom legs perfectly flat with each other so that it didn't rock. Now there's enough points of contact on the floor where it's not gonna rock. I mean, this is super stable and it's heavy enough too where it's not gonna move anywhere, but I feel like that it's not absolutely perfect, which it doesn't have to be, but there's some things that would just make life a lot easier than having me worry about it maybe not being square. Maybe, you know, one side's going this way and the other side's going this way, and it just, I feel like it would cause an issue. Go ahead and show you what down here looks like. It's just 2x4s side to side. I stand all the way around it. I think it looks pretty cool. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me building the coffee table. I hope it inspired you to build your own coffee table or your own woodworking projects like that. But if you guys liked what you saw, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give me a dislike. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below how I can do better. Leave a comment. Just leave a comment. And then also, if you want to see more stuff like this, if you want to see me working on my car, just a whole bunch of random stuff, go ahead and click on that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Mia, do you have something to tell them?